This is sports stuff. Betting stuff.
Ciao.
Ka-chow, ka-chow, ka-chow. We're getting towards the end, folks.
I don't know. It's happiness, it's sadness, it's all in between.
There are only so many games left. In fact, after this week, we don't have full slates of anything anymore.
Ugh,
We
so
are
sad.
only in playoff matchups in both the NFL and college football.
So sad.
What once started in August as a promising, promising season.
Yeah.
Many bets in between, many stone cold locks that ended up being absolute shite picks,
Shite.
many losers that turned into winners and winners that turned into very frustrated outcomes.
Yeah.
We
But
are,
we're not bad. We're not bad.
it's not terrible, but it could be better.
It could
This
be.
is Sports Stuff Betting Stuff, the number one sports betting podcast coming out of the sports stuff with Jim and Muff Enterprise. I am your host, the original degenerate, Muff.
Hello, Muff.
I'm
Hi, fans. Hi, loyal listeners. Howdy, people. Joined alongside the Ohio Homer, the Ohio Degenerate, and the capo of the Midwest Crack House, Jim.
Hello, friends.
a Jim.
Midwest
Hi.
Crack House has a new member in your household.
Yeah, buddy.
You have mini crackheads.
Mini crackheads.
Mini crickets. I like
Is
that.
that a term?
It is now.
Yeah.
Trademark, copyright. You heard it here first. And last but certainly not least, living up to his name, another half of the original Degenerate crew, the medical degenerate Alex.
That's me.
Hey, Alex.
I'm coming from the call room, so I have to do my. Oh no. I have to use my quiet.
Do you have to use your quiet voice or is visiting hours almost over?
Uh, I have to use my quiet voice because I'm in the call room, and I may have to make a departure.
Oh, no. We've never had that before.
I know. I might have to make a departure. I have a few minutes to let it simmer and see what happens.
Is this like a
I
level
mean, I'm
two?
gonna
Is
have to go.
this level 2.5 trauma?
He's leaving.
It's a level 30 trauma.
Oh, no.
I don't know. Like we never have had active call. Oh,
What do
maybe
we
we have.
do now?
We just got to push through. We don't know what this is going to mean for Alex for the next two
I think,
hours.
yeah, I think you just have to push through, and I might be back, or I might not be back. You
Bye,
know,
Alex.
my picks will be announced at a later time.
Bye, buddy.
Hope you find your dad.
Nah,
Yay!
oh, don't lose anything.
Cool.
All right, how this is going to work tonight, I guess, today, is we're going to go through our best bets from last week in the NFL and college football, go into our specialty picks, talk about the games for this week, and talk about Jim and I's best bets and figure this out the best
Yeah.
that we can moving forward. So we're gonna do what we can without the medical degenerate who's doing medical things as we record. But as a reminder, for any new listeners, our exclusive betting app is FanDuel.
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 It's FanDuel.
FanDuel.
It is FanDuel. With Alex gone, I guess we still have to do our totems or tokens or items of good luck. Jim, yours is
The Ohio State hat with the Ohio State flag on the bill.
good, good. Mine is my West Virginia conductor's cap, courtesy of Topper Thrift. $1. Most things are a dollar at Topper Thrift. All your thrifting needs and your secondhand store items of good luck come right to you from me on my head, Topper Thrift. Alex would typically talk about some headwear. I think Alex is
Uh,
like our Lee Corso
yeah. I mean, I'm going to go with probably a stethoscope though tonight.
to keep the pulse.
Yeah, to keep a pulse on the situation.
Yeah. think that's what it would have been. Uh, we're gonna say that's what Alex's side of good luck is.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. All right, let's get into last week's best bets with our recap. I will recap Alex. Alex was the top winner of the week. It's the top winner for the past 2 or 3 weeks now. Alex went 4-2, bringing his overall record to 59-54 for a 522 winning percentage. Alex's wins were Ravens to cover on Christmas Day because we're still kind of in this weird flux of when the games are happening. Also took BYU plus the points, taking on Colorado, which Alex is probably very upset not here to talk about that one.
Hmm.
Lions covering 3.5 against the 49ers, and the Ohio State Oregon over 55.5, where Alex's four wins offset by losses of Rams not covering 6.5, hosting the Cardinals. Iowa losing by 3, so Iowa plus 2.5 did not cover with Missouri. Again, Alex 4-2 on the week. I was next this past week, 4-3 for the week, bringing my overall record to 67-53 for a 558 winning percentage. I also had the Ravens to cover 5.5 on Christmas Day, taking on the Texans. And I went on a little bit of a poor run and then brought it all back because I had the Lions to cover 3.5 against the 49ers and the Lions 49ers over 50.5 and Penn State to cover 10.5, giving me my four wins, offset by my losses of the Rams not covering 6.5 versus the Cardinals, Miami, Florida not covering 3.5 against Iowa State, and the Colorado show not covering 3.5 against BYU, putting me at 4-3 for the week. Jim.
I'm currently 5-6 with Ole Miss knocking on the door to go 14-0 against Duke. Currently, as we're recording, I have Ole Miss 14.5, giving 14.5 to Duke. Sorry, Muff, they are on the one. And they scored, so it's 14-0 Ole Miss. Let's go, Lane. I lost the Pitt -7.5 to Toledo and the Seahawks -3.5 to the Bears in that flux week we were doing. Uh, I hit that Arkansas game -1.5 against Texas Tech. I hit the over in the Washington State versus Syracuse 59.5. Texas A&M let me down against USC -3.5. Chargers, Harbaugh wins against shitty teams, -4.5 against the Patriots. Miami, Florida, dickhead at quarterback decided to only play a half. So,
So does it make you feel any differently? I know we talked about this in the regular show last week. I'm
mhm.
sorry to interrupt you. Does it make you feel any better if this was planned? Like everyone
No,
knew this and was in on it?
no.
Does it make you feel differently about him or just about the program? Does it make you feel,
I,
I guess, about anything?
your team could have won if you came in that last series.
Potentially. There's no guarantees.
So, no, I feel nothing.
Okay.
So I lost that game. The Lions coming back and winning against the 49ers, -3.5 against the 49ers. Missouri, thank you, Missouri, the SEC team, if I say so myself. -2.5 against Iowa, winning that game. Lost the Colorado game. Alex got that one on him. Uh, so I lost that one. And I lost the South Carolina -9.5 to the Bielema in Illinois. But I believe I'll have my redemption and go 6-6 with my boy Lane Kiffin.
Yes, we will. Yeah, that takes us through last week's best bets recap. Now get into our specialty picks, starting with the Mike Allstott hit stick pick of the week.
Pow, pow, pow.
Pow, 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 pow. We had the Lions to cover 3.5 at the 49ers. That's a win, bringing the hit stick pick to 10-8 for the season. Good side of that. Next in the Midwest Mobster risky pick of the week,
Get out of here.
we took Notre Dame money line against Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, and that's a win, bringing the risky pick to 8-10 for the
Terrorists
season.
couldn't win, and Georgia couldn't win. So let's go.
You're not making any type of parallel there, are you?
No, but I mean, just trying to throw some. Fuck you, terrorists, and fuck you, Bulldogs.
Hopefully, you don't have the same level of hate for both.
No, no.
Okay. Next to the sell the nutting team, Bob parlay.
Ah, I fucked us.
You had a spike pick in there.
Yeah, it was.
Granted, it's not like you went like 7-1 for the week.
No, there was
There,
logic behind it and everything, but that spike pick reared its head and got us.
yeah, yes, it did. So we went the hit stick one with lines -3.5 to 49ers. I picked Penn State -10.5 versus Boise State was a win, and Alex took the Ohio State Oregon over 55.5. Jim's pick was Colorado to cover 3.5 against BYU. Did not work out. So the Paul Lay is 1-14.
Yeah,
We still have an
yeah.
opportunity. There's still time left.
There's still a chance.
Always a chance. All right, let's get into this week's games, starting in the NFL. I put in here all the scenarios with the playoffs and so forth because that may have an impact on how we are thinking about betting and what we may or may not be doing in different situations. We have Saturday football this week in the NFL, starting the earlier game. Browns at the Ravens. The Ravens favored by 18.5, over under 41.5. A Ravens win locks them as the AFC North champs and the number 3 seed. For the Browns, we don't have Jameis Winston. We don't have DTR. We get Bailey Zappi at quarterback for Cleveland.
18 and a half seems high. I don't know. It just seems high. I could see the Ravens going up 2 scores and throttling down.
Yeah, I did not know that Bailey Zappi was starting initially. Um, and I was all down for Ravens -18.5 with DTR. Uh, I am gonna take the Ravens -18.5 out, but heavily leaning, most likely gonna lock it in the Browns and Ravens over 41.5. I think the
Okay.
Ravens can obviously put up the points probably pretty quickly in this game, get out ahead, coast in, and then the Browns just put in some garbage points to get me an over at the end. That is my hope.
That's
Uh,
fair.
and Sunday, I think it's Sunday night, we have the Bengals at the Steelers. Bengals favored by 1.5, over under 48.5. If the Ravens win, the Steelers can't do anything.
No, that's not what you have here.
I understand that's not accurate. If the Ravens win, the Steelers, um,
Is it if the Ravens lose, Steelers can win the AFC North?
if the Ravens lose, Steelers can win the AFC North with a win. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. One one word off there. If the Ravens lose, the Steelers can win the AFC North with a win. So before this game even starts, the Steelers will know if they're fighting for the division title or not. Um, if the Ravens win, the Steelers need a win to lock up the number 5 seed in a matchup against the Texans. If the Bengals want to get to the playoffs, they need a win and losses by the Broncos and Dolphins. So there's a
Which
lot that
I
has
mean,
to
I
happen in
could
this
see the
game.
Broncos losing. Who the Dolphins play?
Uh, all of these teams are still alive.
Dolphins play the Jets.
There's a lot that needs to happen for the Bengals. I'm going to stay away from all of this just because we have no idea who's going to be playing for what after
I
that
mean,
Monday
I don't
game.
necessarily know that I would stay away from it. I could see me on Saturday night with not a lot to do betting the Steelers money line.
Well, I'm just saying this far out. I will not be interested in doing anything before the game starts, or right
Mm.
this early in the week, knowing that things could change, strategies could change if the Ravens win.
Yeah, but a Steelers money line right now, it's not a bad call.
Right? Hey, listen, have at it, buddy. I'm gonna stay away from this one.
I mean, what would make you say I don't want the Steelers money line? Like, there's no reason to shy away from that. Like, it's our money line dog. There's no reason to say, yeah, that's a bad pick.
Oh yeah, there's no reason to shy away from it as the money line dog in that particular situation, but I'm not going with the best bet.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I understand. But like you're saying shy away from it, there's really no reason to shy away from it in that scenario.
at this time, no.
Okay.
If you feel any type of confidence in the Steelers against the Bengals, yes,
All
Steelers are
right.
still should be looking to win
Yeah.
no
I mean,
matter
they
what.
have to.
They don't have to. They're already in the playoffs. But everybody in the AFC is
So
looking
if
for
they
this.
lose, who is their matchup in the playoffs?
It depends on what else happens on Sunday.
Oh, all right.
A
All right.
win, a win, a Ravens win and a Steelers win just locks them into that number five seed. Other things, if the Ravens lose and the Steelers lose, the Ravens still have the AFC North, and what happens on Sunday will influence the seeding for the Steelers.
Is there an advantage to the Steelers losing?
No, most people are saying the advantage is for whoever plays the Texans in the first round, if I'm being
Right.
honest.
So you want them to win.
Correct.
All right. Well, then again, I laid the money line dog on the table.
Sure. Come back to that one later. In Sunday NFL football action, first we have the Panthers at the Falcons. Falcons favored by 7.5, over under 48.5. The Falcons need a win and a Bucks loss to earn the number four seed and to win their division.
I have a hard time not betting the Falcons here. I mean, the Panthers have been dog shite.
Panthers haven't been the worst team in the NFL over the last 6, 7, 8 weeks.
Mm, okay.
And while Penix has played well in his first two starts, this is really, I mean, this is a high profile matchup for him as far as he's going against Bryce Young, a Panthers team that just wants to continue to grow and develop and play well. I don't think they're resting anybody. I haven't seen anything on that. So I think the Panthers are looking to play spoiler here. For
Okay.
that reason, I'm going to stay away. Just a lot of little nuggets to this one that I don't want to get into.
Well, you talked me out of it.
Yep. Next, Commanders at the Cowboys.
Bum, 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 bum.
Them Commanders favored by 5.5, over under 44.5. Commanders are locked into the playoffs, but they do need a win to secure the number six seed. A number six seed would need a matchup with either the Rams, Bucks, or Falcons. And if they lose and they end up with the number seven seed, they will definitively be going to Philadelphia in their first round matchup. So I think there's something here for the Commanders to really want to win this game. And for that reason, I'm going to take the Commanders to cover.
I don't want anything to do with this.
All the way away.
Yeah, this is one that I'm like, ugh.
Jerry World. Jerry
Yep.
World in week 18.
I don't want anything to do with it.
All right, so we have the Bears at the Packers. The Packers favored by 10.5, over under 41.5. Packers are locked in, but then would need a win and a Commanders loss, and these are games happening at the same time. Um, so the Packers need a win and a Commanders loss to secure the sixth seed, which means obviously the Packers could keep an eye on the scoreboard through the first two or three quarters and make some rest decisions for players if the Commanders are handily winning that game. But I don't care. Give me the Packers minus 10.5 because it's against the Bears.
Yeah. I don't like it enough to make it a best bet.
Texans at the Titans. Titans favored by 1.5, over to 36.5. The Texans are locked in the number four seed, and especially given their injury luck this year, I expect anybody who they can rest to be resting.
Yeah, this is one of those for sure. I would stay away for that reason.
Yeah, I'm staying all the way away from this. Don't even care because this has no bearing aside for some draft positioning potentially.
Yeah.
Jags at the Colts. Colts favored by 4.5 over to 43.5. I have zero
I,
intelligent conversations to add to
I mean,
this.
I could see the Colts coming out and just like molly whopping the Jags. I don't think Richardson's gonna play. I think he's still dealing with injury when I saw the report yesterday. But like I can see them coming out and just beating the shit out of the Jaguars to throw it in McAfee's face, like on purpose.
Oh, I don't disagree. I don't disagree that could happen. I could also just see them laying down. And who
Yeah,
knows what the Jags are doing right now? The Jags and Giants and all of them are just, I feel like they're just,
playing for draft picks.
but they are they? Because the Giants were
Yeah,
last week. I don't know
that's
what's going
true.
on. Next, we get the Bills at the Patriots. Bills favored by 2.5 over under 38.5. Bills locked in to the number two seed, and the Patriots need to lose to maintain the number one overall pick in this year's draft. This could be immovable force object situation.
I'm taking the Bills. Give me the Bills.
Who's starting a quarterback for the Bills?
I don't know or care. I think the Patriots will basically lay down.
All right.
They're not a stupid organization.
I mean, they let Bill go.
I think he needed to go.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from that one. Giants at Eagles. Eagles favored by 3 over under 37.5. Eagles locked in the number two seed. Saquon is doubtful to play. Um,
I heard flat out he's not.
you've heard not? Okay.
Like
I
he's
didn't
not
heard
gonna do it.
explicitly no. I just heard, oh, he's likely one of the guys we're gonna rest, but I hadn't heard for
I
sure
think he
yet.
needs like 28 yards, which is crazy to me that he's not.
No,
But
he needs 100.
is it?
It's over 100, yeah. I think if it was 28, we may see him play a quarter,
I
but
thought it was just like 28, but
oh no, it's over 100. It's like 105. Jalen Hurts is still in the concussion protocol. Nothing in this game. I mean, theoretically, the Giants could improve their standing if the Patriots win and the Giants lose. So,
I
no, I'm out.
I'm staying away.
I even think I don't even think Kenny Pickett's playing either. I think it's gonna be that Tanner McKee. Ah, Saints at the Bucks. Bucks favored by 13.5, over under 43.5. The Bucks need a win to lock up the NFC South and hold on to a chance for the number three seed, which would happen if the Rams lose and the Bucks win. Um, the Bucks do need a win to lock up their division, and at the very least have the number four seed if they win. That'd be if the Rams win and the Bucks both win. Rams have the three seed, Bucks have the four seed. So Bucks still playing for something in this one, as the Rams do not play until the afternoon. So the Bucks will have no idea what's going on with aside from they know they'll have at least number four seed if they win.
I think this game is way too competitive. I think this is one of those sneaky competitive games. That 13.5, I want nothing to do with.
Yeah, I was leaning towards the Bucks, but the more I think about it, I'm likely to stay away. In fact, I will be staying away. Chiefs at the Broncos. Broncos favored by 10.5, over under 39.5. Broncos need a win to lock up the number seven seed, the last seed in the AFC picture. The Chiefs are locked into the number one seed. Things can get significantly more interesting if the Broncos lose, um, as both the Bengals and Dolphins can take that number seven spot. Uh, Denver will know the Bengals result before kickoff, but Miami also playing in this late afternoon slate on Sunday. So if the Bengals lose, the Broncos will still be playing at the same time as the Dolphins. Chiefs trotting out Carson Wentz.
Ah, I think the Broncos will win, or the Chiefs will win.
Then you're going to take the Chiefs plus the points. The Broncos are favored by 10.5, Jim.
I know.
So if you think the Chiefs are going to win, you may as well jump on that 10.5 right now. Why are you so down on the Broncos right now?
I just think that they'll shit at the end. I just don't. Which is also like my. I know I'm not a Chargers fan. I get it, but I cannot bring myself to like the Broncos. Like I can't. It's not my thing.
I'm gonna
I'm
stay
gonna
all the
stay
way away.
away.
I'm staying
Yep.
all the way away. Who knows? Carson Wentz could rush for 75 yards, throw for 250 plus, and have 4 touchdowns. He could also throw 5 interceptions and fumble the ball. I don't.
Just a brief intermission here.
Hmm.
Um, Jackson Dart plays so well, so sporadically. He makes passes that are just like, where was that when you needed it? Like in those games that you lost all season. And then I just don't get it. And yeah, you're playing Duke. I get it, but you look so good. He's like Kenny Pickett. When Kenny Pickett was at Pitt, he was just a machine. Like you saw those passes, you're like, oh damn. And then you get to the NFL, you're like, oh no, yeah, you're bad poop. He takes hits. He's like the quarterback of quarterbacks. You like those guys that stay in the pocket, get smashed, and the pass goes off out of nowhere. Man, Ole Miss up 17-0.
Right. Next we have the Chargers at the Raiders. Chargers favored by 4.5 over to 40.5. Chargers could move all the way up to the number 5 seed with a Steelers loss and then a Chargers win. So I think if the Steelers win, I think the Chargers are locked in
Give me the Chargers.
at the 6. Taking the
Give me
Chargers
the
to cover.
Yep. Give me the Chargers.
What if the Steelers win and the Chargers are playing for nothing?
Nah, I think they'll still beat the Raiders.
Okay.
That's a rivalry. And it's Jimmy Harbaugh. Like
They'll
he
find a
doesn't
way.
care. He doesn't care.
He will find a way.
Yeah.
Seahawks at Rams. Seahawks favored by 6.5 over to 38.5. Rams need a win to lock up the number 3 seed. Seahawks not playing for anything. They have been eliminated from playoff contention. Um, for the Rams, this is really if they come into this game kind of knowing where things are, they may be able to, if they want, manipulate the situation of who they would be playing. Um, whether that's the Commanders or the Packers. And they will know before kickoff
So
kind of
when
where
they play
things are.
one team, lose, they play another team.
Yeah, I think they'll kind of know.
I'll stay away for that very reason.
Yeah, because they could play to whatever they want. So we will see what goes down there. Matthew Stafford is already stated as not playing Jimmy G's to start, so it seems that the Rams are kind of just okay, okay with whatever's going on here. Dolphins at Jets. Dolphins favored by 1.5 over under 39.5. Dolphins need a win and a Broncos loss to get in the playoffs.
Uh, I want to take the Dolphins.
And Snoop Huntley is likely to start. I don't think it's been informally announced, but likely to start for the Dolphins.
I want to take the Dolphins. I think Aaron Rodgers is tapped out.
He's had comments that he's going to consider retirement again, which was a consideration last year, and said he's not going to use the darkness retreat to do it.
He's gonna take the poop shoot medicine and be fine.
Crystals.
Yeah.
49ers at Cardinals. Cardinals favored by 4.5 over to
How
42.5.
about sorry, another intermission. Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry.
This is about Jackson
How
Dart.
do you no, how do you feel about Penn State and Notre Dame being the first game?
We're almost there, buddy.
How do you feel about that?
Let's wait to get through the NFL before we get to that.
Well, make sure I hit that back.
Okay. 49ers Cardinals, I don't care.
Nope, me either.
All right. And last in the Sunday nightcap, the game of the week. We have the Vikings at the Lions. Lions favored by 2.5 over under 56.5. Winner gets the NFC's top spot, a first round bye. The loser will be the number 5 seed.
Give me the Viking or give me the Lions all day long.
All day. Jim's taking lines on day. I'm going to take the over all day. Over 56.5. Both of these teams can put up points and bunches, and both of them are susceptible to giving up the points.
I don't think that's a bad call either.
So give me just an entertaining Sunday night game where the ball's thrown all over the yard. For the Lions, they may be getting back linebacker Alex Anzalone, who broke his forearm in Week 11. So they might be
Which,
getting one of those pieces back.
like, what kind of player do you have to be to play for Detroit, Dan? Like, are you the old school 1980s cocaine snorting, rip roaring, like maniac? Is that what you got to be?
Like to play one of those key positions like linebacker. I feel like yes, he's looking for somebody that's got a couple screws loose.
Like the boss? Just a bunch of the boss.
Don't think it hurts because I assume that Anzalone will be playing with something on his arm,
Yeah.
like a club.
And you know he's got a plate in there.
He might. Not sure what all forearm. I don't know. Our medical degenerate's not here. Not sure how that goes.
Right.
But all right, that's the NFL slate. Let's bring us into the college football slate.
Is this now the time for me to bring this up?
Well, yes, here shortly. But before the Notre Dame Georgia game, college football favorites were 7-0 straight up and 6-1 against the spread. That is now changed. That the favorites were 7-1 straight up and 6-2 against the spread. So in the college football playoff, we had the favorites dominating pretty much. So in college football action, before we get into the playoff semifinals, we have on Friday North Texas versus Texas State. Texas State favored by 13.5, over under 61.5. This is in Texas as well. I think this is just like the
Yeah.
Texas Bowl.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool for the state to have that. These are two, middle to lower tier programs playing in their state. I feel like that's going to be a cool time.
Sure.
We also have on Friday Minnesota taking on Virginia Tech. Minnesota row the boat, favored by 9.5, over under 42.5.
I don't want anything to do with this game, but I'd be pulling for Minnesota.
Yeah, I was really thinking about this, but this is one of those I don't want to do the legwork to know who's playing and who's not playing.
Yep.
But I would say program to program, I would trust Minnesota, PJ Fleck in Minnesota more in this matchup. But
Yeah.
again, I just don't want to do the legwork on this. Saturday football, Buffalo versus Liberty. Buffalo favored by 2.5, over under 50.5.
Again, legwork, but if I had to pick, I'd take Liberty.
Yeah, Liberty came in with very high hopes this season
Hmm.
and lost, I think, two games in a row, both to opponents that were not expected. I think they had one of the worst losses of the season as far as by the spread.
Liberty Bibbity.
Bibbity bibbity, bibbity boppity booted all the way to the pooper. All
Can
right,
I now ask,
now's the time, Jim.
how do you feel about them being the first game of the week?
Penn State, Notre Dame, Thursday night. Notre Dame favored by 1.5, over under 44.5. This I don't feel any sort of way about it, if I'm being honest, because it was already predetermined.
But I mean, you got pushed, the game got pushed back. Notre Dame's game got pushed back a day.
Correct.
So it's shorter time for Notre Dame.
It is, but the locations were already preset. Like I don't
Right. But
think they were
I'm,
going to switch these games and the times and locations and everything. So I don't. It's unfortunate for Notre
I
Dame.
think the time could switch. The location doesn't have to.
We don't know that. These large stadiums, you never know what they have planned for that weekend. They may be.
That's fair.
You never. You just. We don't know, and I'm not going to speculate that they could easily do it. Um, so I think it's unfortunate that Notre Dame has one less day. It's out of their control. It was out of Georgia's
That's fair.
control too if they were in that situation. Um, I don't. They still get a week, right? It is a difference of a day, which probably does mean a lot towards the end of the season. But this isn't like an NFL situation when you've got, you know, late 20s, 30-year-old men who need that extra day means so much more to somebody at that age than somebody in their early 20s.
I don't
Oh.
necessarily mean that. I mean, so much as like they do have an academic schedule.
Do they? No, quite
I,
literally, I don't. Right now, they probably are not.
they probably I don't know. It's been so long. I don't know.
Yeah, not like, and again, we don't know what type of schedule these schools are on, semesters versus trimesters. Typically, if you're in a semester schedule, you're not starting till probably the 13th.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, um, or maybe even after Martin Luther King Day. I don't even know.
Yeah.
So I don't think the academic schedule really plays into this right now. But the question I have, we don't have
Hmm.
Alex here. Do we want to include these games, or do we want to just briefly discuss our thoughts on these games and save them till next week?
Oh, they're getting saved till next week.
Okay, I just want to make sure that, because I was on that page, because then we'll have the NFL and college football
Yeah.
playoff action.
Yeah, because we don't know who's gonna get Duke scored. We don't know who's gonna get hurt, who's
Right,
gonna do what. I
right.
know the portal's closed. We ain't gotta worry about none of that bullshit, which is nuts. But no,
Well,
it's not closed. It's closed for
it's close for everybody else but these teams.
but these teams.
Well,
Yeah.
right, it's close for these teams. These teams, the portal will reopen for 5 days after they lose their game
Which means
before the season
Georgia,
ends.
Oregon,
Right.
all them boys,
Right now, their players have they have 5 days to jump in the portal and potentially get picked up
which is nuts.
or jump in the portal. I don't think they have to get picked up right away, but they can jump in the portal.
That's nuts to me.
Yeah. And all of these teams, all the teams in the semifinals will have the same option. So, Penn State versus Notre Dame. My initial thoughts on this is going to be a defensive slugfest. Both teams, I think, play a similar type of like scheming action where they want their defense to create the game-changing plays, or they expect their defense to have some level of game-changing plays. They want their offense to take care of the ball. They want to control the game on the ground. And if they can hit a big play here and there, an explosive play, fantastic. So my initial thoughts is obviously I'm going to take Penn State. Um, Probably no matter what. I don't care where the line moves to. I don't think anything's going to change. I think Abdul Carter is expected to play. He didn't play most of the second half or most of the latter part of the game against Boise State. And see any new injuries for Notre Dame pop up. So um, I would lean towards Penn State in the under. Your thoughts, Jim?
No, I would take Penn State. I don't know about the under. Yeah, probably the under. Yeah, it's not bad. I like that.
All right. And then Friday, in the other semifinal, other second, I don't know how we want to say this, the second played semifinal game, we have Ohio State taking on Texas. Ohio State favored by 5.5, over under 53.5. We'll get into this more, I'm sure, in this Sunday's recording for the Monday show. How is Columbus Land feeling after a semifinal win, though, Jim? Brief synopsis.
Hungover?
Okay.
That's probably the best synopsis for that.
Okay.
Hungover. It was you would have thought a lot of elation.
hmm
It was weird. It was weird.
I just don't like that it's always a weird sentiment in Columbus.
It was cool. Like it was I very much think that it's on to the next. Like it's
Okay.
that was cool. We got revenge. On to the next. I think that we're all and I can say I'll only speak for myself in this scenario. I think we know we can beat Texas, but we don't want to whisper those words out a lot. Because when you see Texas playing Arizona State and struggling the way they struggled, you go, "Oh, okay. Like
Mhm.
we have a lot more firepower than Arizona State." Like, but then you start like it's Ohio State, so you got those like doubters in your brain, you know?
So, is there going to be any storyline in this game about Quinn Ewers playing Ohio State?
No,
That's a non-story to Columbus.
no, not right now.
Is there anything that could make it a story?
I
Just
think if
add.
something comes out,
Yeah.
If something breaks out. There's
It's
been
not it's not a
little,
story unless somebody makes it a story right now.
yeah, there's been whispers like how much he's been offered bled out a little bit,
Hmm.
but like nothing that really tied him to Columbus.
Okay. So, initial thoughts, what are your keys to the game? What are their keys to this game overall, whether that's on both sides or just generally if this happens, this is what will decide the winner.
I don't think Ohio State's going to run all over Texas by any means when you have 350-pound, 7-foot line defensive lineman that Texas has. Um, I don't think you have that shutdown. I think it's a safety for Texas.
Hmm.
Like Jeremiah Smith is not going to have an easy road to hoe. Like other people are going to have to contribute. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen. I think the receiving core is going to outshine Texas. I don't think Texas's defense can stop, or Texas's offense can hold up against Ohio State's defense. I just don't.
Do you think, and obviously haven't watched all Ohio State's games, is this a game where Texas tries to send a message within the first, we'll say, 15, quarter and a half, where they're looking to put Jeremiah Smith on his butt somewhere?
I don't think that's a thing. I
I'm just curious, has he ever been rocked yet?
no, but I
Okay,
don't think there will be a scenario where that happens. Like
okay.
it would be smart. I don't know. Like if Chip Kelly and Ryan Day game plan the way they did the last two games, there that will not be a scenario. So if Ohio State gets the ball in the kickoff and they do what they did the last two games and come out with new shit, it'll be fine. If Texas gets the ball, it's going to be demoralizing. Like that's the two scenarios I see. Because I don't of the teams, and I mean all the teams in the playoff. Texas is one of those offenses where I truly think Ohio State's defense comes out and just beats the shit out of Texas's offensive line. Like they just didn't look good in that Arizona State game. That's my take.
We're looking at for some of the keys to victory. I'm making an addition here.
I think yeah, I think it's gonna be real ugly in that offensive line for Texas.
That Texas kicker misses another field goal or two. Does he need to just
No,
get
Ohio
on the
State's
bus?
not. Ohio State's in the same boat. Like we were
Okay.
so happy he made field goals in an Oregon game. Our whole team came out to congratulate him. Like, no, he's fine.
No, I'm talking about the Texas kicker.
No, and I'm saying he's fine. He's like one of us. It's okay.
Uh, so I was listening a little bit today. Were you watching? Did you see when Sark went up to the kicker and had like this
Yeah,
this awkward, like you don't see this
yeah.
moment with a kicker often? It,
If you
it's
miss
it,
this, we'll still love you.
it just seemed like such a for the cameras type of move.
I
Uh,
don't believe that either.
you know, it just seemed odd. You don't get in the head of kickers before they kick. Usually just let them be them.
I think Sark is odd.
Okay.
So to me, watching it, it felt normal.
Him doing something out of the norm was normal.
I think he is an odd dude.
Hmm.
He's one step above Lane Kiffin,
Okay.
like
Uh,
in
ab
my mind.
above being weirder or
He's normal. Like he's not like, oh, creepy. Like Lane Kiffin is creepy. He's just one step above Lane Kiffin.
as far as more creepy?
About less, he's less creepy.
Okay. He's a step closer to the norm.
Lane Kiffin's your drunk uncle who hits on your girlfriend. Sark is your drunk uncle that like will talk to you about philosophy out of nowhere.
Got it. Understood now. It makes more sense.
Yeah.
All right, that wraps up.
I could do that whole thing for Saban's coaches. I could do the whole
Oh,
drunk uncle breakdown.
where's Bill O'Brien?
Bill O'Brien's your angry drunk uncle that wishes his kids would calm the fuck down at dinner.
Okay. Now I have to think through like who are all these coaches.
Kirby Smart
Uh,
is your high strung uncle that like has to do cocaine to like get by.
he shows up like 10 minutes late, but you know he's there as soon as he walks
Yeah.
in the door.
Yep. And what's the guy? What's his face from A&M that got fired from West Virginia?
Bad. I'm bad with
Oh
the
man,
SEC coaching tree, truth be told.
he's the one who talks shit on Urban or not Urban,
Saban.
Saban about cheating.
Okay. Who is he? What uncle is he?
He's the jealous uncle
Okay.
who's always jealous of your dad and like always talks shit like under his breath. But like, but he never measured up. He was always in dad's shadow. He's
All right.
that uncle. You want to kick it with Sark. Like as you get older, like when you're a
All
teenager,
right.
you want to kick it with Sark. Lane's cool, but like you don't bring your girlfriend around Lane.
Right. Lane's the one, Lane's the uncle that you go to when you're like, I want to party. And
Right,
this is the one I'm going to go to, but I don't necessarily want to party with him. I just want him to help me get the things to do the party.
right,
Sark's
exactly,
the one that you find the stuff and you go hang out with him. You're like, oh yeah, my buddies can probably come here and we can do stuff
exactly.
and it's okay.
Yep, yep. Bill O'Brien's the one that you'll call later in life when you're in a real bad jam.
Because you're like, he's just going to tell me straight.
Yeah, and he's responsible. You know,
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll get down with that.
Kirby. Kirby's the one that like if there's a fight at the family reunion, you know he's gonna be involved, and he's gonna be the one swinging.
He doesn't ask questions.
Nope, he's just swinging.
All right. He's a dive on the pile guy.
Yep.
Bill O'Brien's the holdback guy.
Yeah, absolutely. He's Bill's the one's got like he's probably on his second wife, and he's so stressed out. He's trying to make everybody happy. He's always angry.
All he looks forward to at Thanksgiving is like the pie.
Yep.
He's like,
And Bill was mom's favorite because he was always trying to keep the brothers in line.
all right. I think
I'll break the whole family down, man.
we've got the uncle tree,
Yep.
The Nick Saban uncle tree.
Yep.
All right, that brings us up into this week's best bets.
We really went on a diatribe there. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's good. Hey, the Nick Saban uncle tree. Um, all right, Jim. Guys,
Yeah,
Jim, you so little games here. What are you doing?
I know, man. It's because the slate's so small.
It is. It is. Well, we'll have more to talk about next week. So, what do you got?
Hold on, I'm adding one more. I'm gonna take the Bills -2.5 against the Patriots. I'm taking the Lions -2.5 against the Vikings. I'm taking the Chargers -4.5 at the Raiders, and the Dolphins -1.5 at the Jets. Why'd you just move my game? Was it out of order, really?
Sunday night. It's
My fault.
the last game of the week.
My fault.
All right. I am going to be taking the Ravens Browns over 41.5 in Saturday early football or Saturday. Yeah, Saturday early football. I'm going to take the Titans to cover 1.5, hosting the Texans as the Texans just take that mash unit and hope to escape. So I'm going to take the Titans now. That was the one I added. I'm going to take the Commanders to cover 5.5, going to Jerry World, take on the Cowboys. I'm going to take the Packers to cover 10.5 against the Bears because it's the Bears. And I'm going to take the Vikings lines over 56.5 in Sunday Night Football. Let's put points on points on points. Let's make this like a 42 to 35 game, up and down the field all day, every day. All right. Bring us into our specialty picks. Starting with Mike Allstott, hit stick pick of the week.
Pow, pow, pow.
And we have nothing in common. You and I.
I don't know what to do. There's no Alex here to referee this.
I'm going to say that Alex is probably on the Lions, and I can get on the Lions.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have no problem putting them there because I have a pretty good feeling that Alex is going to be on that one.
All right.
So we'll get the Mike Allstott picks as the Lions to cover 2.5, hosting the Vikings for the number one seed and the division. Next, Midwest Mobster Risky pick of the week.
Get out of here. I'm still pretty
You
adamant
put
on
up
the
the
Steelers.
Steelers. You put up the Steelers, which I don't think I have anything to go against that, especially since we're not including the college playoff games. I think we're just gonna have to go with it, buddy.
All right.
With that Steelers early money line, hosting the Bengals in
Ole Miss just went up 24-7. Give me it all day long.
all right. In the self-noting team, Bob parlay,
Ah,
we can put our three in, and then we will wait for Alex to get Alex's pick. So the Lions to cover 2.5, hosting the Vikings is in there no matter what. Jim, you have the first pick in this week.
I will take the Chargers -4.5 at the Raiders.
Right. I am gonna take Vikings lines over.
Ooh, two Vikings in there. All right.
Put them both in there. And we'll wait, Alex, once Alex gets done saving the world, or at least a small piece of the world in the greater Wheeling area.
A lot of people get hurt in Wheeling.
I mean, people go to the hospital.
You ever think there's a day where somebody's not in a hospital?
No.
Like, you ever think there's a small hospital somewhere that's peaceful?
Nope, I don't. Because I don't think hospitals go in places where they're going to be peaceful. I think
Yeah.
they rely on the foot traffic in and out.
If there's a hospital somewhere that goes one night without an emergency, I'll send you a hat.
You'll send me a hat?
I'll send that hospital, that
Oh, I'll
whoever's
send
listening
that
to
hospital.
us,
Send
a
that
hat.
hospital hat. So we've got I think it'll go in the mail tomorrow. We're taking a shot. Taking a
Oh,
shot.
yeah.
Send a hat to Boston Connor and the Pat McAfee show. We try to see if we can get him to wear it in hour 3.
I listened to their coverage of the Ohio State game against Oregon. It was not as fun as when they were at the Horseshoe.
I listened to some of it. Watched, listened is more listen in this case. I just feel like because the game was
It
not
was boring,
competitive,
yeah. Yeah.
I just don't think. I think that Pat McAfee as a personality is not good whenever things are not exciting.
Yeah.
Like he when he plays the mood of the room, and if the mood of the room is people are pissed off and unhappy, or it's just not exciting, then he's just like, all right, why am I here then? It's like he's not I don't think he plays well to the dance clown dance type of scenario.
Well, all
But
right.
all right, that wraps up this week's episode of Sports Stuff Betting Stuff. As a reminder, you can follow us at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter, Sports Stuff with Jim Muff on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, poke, like, tickle.
Get the bell on.
Ding, ding. Get that bell on. Grab that
Peace.
great chicken dinner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner after a great weekend of all of the football betting. I don't know what, sooner or later we're going to get into all of the basketball betting because here in the playoffs, in the NFL and the college football, we need to build up them dough stacks so that when we get into the college basketball world, we can even have a bigger
Payday.